Hey guys, I'm well today. So as most of you know, I'm currently in Zimbabwe, enjoying the holidays, of course. But I actually have a decent setup, and I thought I'd treat you guys obviously towards a video. Like I said beforehand, guys, I won't be making any videos after this one, as I'm currently on holiday. But I will make one probably when I'm in the US later this, within probably July, closer to when the rugby championship comes along. So definitely stay tuned to that. But yeah, pretty excited obviously to give you guys just kind of my starting 15 to say the least against the English when they face off in the July internationals, which obviously starts next week. So pretty excited to do so. Of course, before I do this, guys, definitely like this video, guys, and definitely comment below if you can. Let me know just if you agree or disagree with my selection. I do want to let me know in the comments, as I will obviously reply. And definitely subscribe to the channel, guys. Subscribe right now if you haven't already. But anyway, let's get straight into this video. So of course we'll start off with the props. So as you can see here, guys, this is the props and hookers. So essentially the front row that I've selected for the Wallabies. I've gone with the likes of Angus Bell, Dave Parecki, as well as Alan Alatoa to make up that front row for the Wallabies. It's not to be perfectly honest, this is not what I would have gone with. But in terms of injuries within that department, it's probably the best you can probably go with, because Angus Bell has been probably the best, you could say, loose head in terms of the whole competition, in my opinion, throughout Super Rugby. So I'd actually go with Angus Bell. Definitely the start. He's like my number one option really within that department. Obviously Scott Seo probably off the bench, but definitely Angus Bell deserves to start for this Wallabies side. For the hooker, I had to go with Dave Parecki actually, because he's probably been the informed hooker, I'd say, for any Australian hooker within Super Rugby. It was a toss-up between him and Fa'afanga, but I chose to go with Parecki because I feel like Fa'afanga can also come off the bench and make an impact. So, yeah, I think David Parecki deserves just a chance to debut, obviously, for the Wallabies against this English side. But, of course, to finish it off, we do have the likes of, Alan Aratoa there. And, again, he has tons of experience under his belt, so that won't be an issue there. Of course, Tano Tupou is in doubt, so that's the reason why I haven't selected him. If I were to select him, I think I would have kept, kind of Alan Aratoa actually on as the starting, prop, just because Tano Tupou likes to come off the bench more as an impact sub, and that's where I feel like he kind of impacts the game more. So, yeah, we'll obviously see if he's available in time. I mean, hopefully he can come off the bench. That's what I'm hoping for. But, yeah, as you can see here, guys, that is the front row side for this Wallaby side. But, anyway, moving on now towards the locks. The locks are coming the likes of Matt Phillip, as well as, Darcy Swain, as you can see here, of course. And, yeah, it's pretty it's a really strong lock duo in my opinion. In terms of lineouts, I mean, them two have been sensational. Really, I mean, I've been Matt Phillip won 61 lineouts throughout Super Rugby. So throughout the last season. So it's pretty impressive actually. So he's definitely someone you can rely on in terms of that department. And yeah, Darcy Swain's just a young up and coming lock, and yeah, definitely someone who I believe can be in the Wallabies for a long time. So yeah, if he gets this experience really, if he can build this up really, obviously with the World Cup next year, then yeah, I'll just add more of a it'll just make me feel more comfortable with him being at the forefront for the Wallabies within that locking department. But anyway, we'll move on now towards the loose forwards. So here are the loose forwards I've selected. This is, to be perfectly honest, I think pretty easy to go with. Roel Valentini, you have to go with him. He's probably been the informed loose forward, you could say, throughout Super Rugby. So you have to go with him, no doubt there. Michael Hooper, of course, Captain Marvel, as we all know, and he's a heck of a player. He's just so brilliant with the breakdowns. So yeah, you have that include him, of course. And to finish it off, you do the likes of Harry Wilson from the Reds, and yeah, he's probably the best number 8, I'd say, throughout Super Rugby in terms of for Australia, of course. And I mean, you do the likes of Pete Samu, obviously coming off the bench if you want him, but I decided to go with him, Harry Wilson instead, just because I feel like he's a better ball carrier. So yeah, I think Wilson will slot in there pretty nicely. So yeah, I think that three kind of balances each other out as well. But anyway, we're moving on now towards the back line for this side. So of course we'll start with the scrum half and fly off. So here you go, the scrum half and fly off for this Wallaby side. I've actually gone with a Brumbies duo. So I've gone with Nick White and Noah Laseo. So I think a lot of people won't disagree with me in terms of Nick White. Look, I love Tate McDermott, by the way. He's probably the player I would have selected in this position, but you need experience when you go against England. So I think Nick White is probably the best suited, scrum half to go for this, for this game. I mean, I could have gone with the likes of Jake Gordon, but I think just Nick White has been good for the Brumbies throughout this year, so have to go with him. And yeah, for Noah Laseo, again, a great player for the Brumbies, and has really, kind of shined, you could say, throughout this year, and really improved on his performances. So I definitely feel he, of course, be pretty comfortable in terms of chemistry with Nick White. That'll definitely suit them in terms of that partnership for the Wallabies. But I was considering James O'Connor. He could slot in there. I would never, I think Nick White and James O'Connor is probably the combination they'll probably go with. But I feel Noah Seo is probably, I think it's time to kind of break the deadlock, to say the least, and kind of break those chains off and let him just go loose and go against. I want to see how well he plays against this English side, because a duo, kind of the battle between tens of Marcus Smith and Noah Sale, that'd be pretty interesting to watch. But anyway, we'll move on now towards the center combination. So here you go. The center combination for the Wallabies I've selected is Samu Karevi at 12 and Len Ikatel at 13. So normally, I'd actually go with Karevi at 13, and maybe like you'd go with Hunter Masami maybe at 12. But I think Len Ikatel has just been so impressive throughout this Super Rugby year, throughout Super Rugby in general, that I had to slot him in. And I think Karevi also can play at 12 as well, so I don't think he'll have an issue playing that spot. So I went with Karevi and obviously Ikatel. And Karevi, don't get me wrong, he's had a brilliant season, so yeah, I don't think too many people will disagree that he deserves to get into the side, so had to choose him as well. So yeah, pretty kind of a tasty kind of duo there for the Wallabies against that English side. But we'll move on towards the last, of course, for this Wallabies side that I've selected the backline, of course, right here. I have gone the likes of as you can see, Marika Corbetti at the number 11 spot, Andrew Kellaway at number 14. And I finish it off, Tom Banks, number 15. So, yeah, I think a good combination for the back line there for the two wingers, of course, very different in the way they are. Ricky Corbetti, obviously, more of the battering ram, very electrifying in terms of his speed. But Andrew Kellaway is more of the kind of a nifty player, to say the least, and very good in kind of getting the high ball as well. So, yeah, I go with Andrew Kellaway there. It was tough because I could have gone with Tom Wright, but I feel bad for Tom Wright because he's had a great season for the Brumbies. He's had a heck of a season, really. He's probably the one player I feel like I should have included, but I just couldn't overlook Andrew Kellaway because he had a hell of a, he had a great season for the Wallabies last year. So I think it'll probably kind of build on to that, build on to those performances. But yeah, of course, Tom Banks I had it selected, probably the best 15 Australia has. I mean, you could have gone with maybe the likes of Jordan Bataya. I mean, I know what's his name, previous Wallaby coach. Gosh, he's now coaching. I completely forgot his name. Checker, yeah, there you go. Checker, of course, was on Stan Sport, kind of saying how Jordan Bataya, he would like to see him within that 15 spot, and it would be interesting to actually see him how well he would do there. But in terms of his kicking ability, it's not as good as Tom Banks, and you need someone like Tom Banks there who can use good in catching the ball early, which obviously Jordan Bataya can do. But in terms of his kicking ability, I think Tom Banks definitely has the edge. But yeah, that's kind of it with my side, guys. Do let me know in the comments, by the way, if you agree or disagree. I do definitely want to know, so definitely comment below. But other than that, definitely like and subscribe, guys. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.